Hello, hello, everyone. My name is Gaby Jordan. I am the founder and president of Human Better EDU, which is a nonprofit which works in the education sector. I'm also an executive life coach, and I teach in all industries globally, from large multi-conglomerate companies to three-person restaurants. So I am very excited to be here today, and I'm interviewing Marla Press, who is a new friend of mine, and the work that she's doing is so important. So I'm really thrilled to be able to share it with you. So Marla is the president and founder of Speakers on Fire Academy. She's a public speaking coach, a life coach, and she's trained and a certified trainer in the art of presence. So she really helps you wow your audience and connect with them so that you magnetically attract more clients and wealth. We all want that, right? So Marla's mission is to help as many people as possible speak up, and so people listen. And she offers elite speaking programs, boot camps, one-on-one coaching. So beginner and experienced speakers transform immediately. So you really want to listen up to what she has to say, because it will shift who you're being. It will make you more appealing to people, and it's very exciting. And for me, given that I coach thousands of people over the last 30 years, it really is important to be able to get your voice heard. So whatever arena you show up in, this is going to be valuable for you. So I'm really, really delighted. Welcome, Marla. Really thrilled that you're here. And I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you.
Absolutely, Gaby. I am so honored to be with you. You have done so much amazing work in the world and over such a period of time. Like you said, you've helped thousands of people. So I'm very excited. And I couldn't have introduced me better myself than how you did it. It's like, wow, she really knows how to say that. That was awesome.
Thank
So,
you.
and
Great.
another thing that we have in common, we have many things in common, but
Yes.
one of the things I love that we have in common is musical theater.
Yes.
And I won't ask you to sing this time. Next time
Okay.
I'm
All
put
right.
you on the
Okay.
spot next time, but
Okay.
little pre-warning there. But one of my earliest memories was sitting in a Broadway theater next to my dad and my big sister. I don't even think my feet touched the ground. That's how young I was.
Yeah.
And I was just in heaven. I was popping
Yeah.
Junior Mint candies, and I was just mesmerized by the people on the stage singing and dancing. And I fell in love at that point with musical theater and just being on stage. And so at an early age, I think it was, 9 years old, I started performing all the time. So I was
Really?
in musical theater, I was a dancer, and I just love it so much. So starting that early perhaps helped
Yes.
me to not have fear about being on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
had this excitement,
Yes.
loved what I did so much
Right.
that I just wanted to be immersed in it.
Yes. So great. I actually, given that you started at 9, I actually came late to musical theater. I was a sophomore in high school. And I started performing. I fell in love with it. I not only did I perform in high school, but then I went to college and I performed, in Penn Singers, Penn Players, Quadramics, everything I could do to get my hand on it. I never even heard of Gilbert and Sullivan until I went to Penn. And then, I wound up the president of the Gilbert and Sullivan Club, which was Penn Singers. And then I went to law school and I did 4 shows in law school. We only had 3, but we did a 4th, right? So and then so it's funny, that is one of the ways that we bonded, given that what you said was your favorite musical was Pippin, and I actually was in Pippin when I was in college. So much fun, and I love it to this day, and it's a great form of entertainment and lessons and learning. So I can fully
Absolutely.
appreciate. Yes, good.
Yes, absolutely. So many good stories there. And, the message for everyone listening out there, and some of you are listening or watching on a replay, but a couple messages there. One is that music can change your state and get you really excited. And,
Yes.
whether you like hip hop or whether you like Broadway show tunes, any of that, all of that it's one way to change your state. And that's one way that I have speakers get psyched to be on
Yes.
stage
Oh,
themselves.
so good. So good. Can you tell me, just I'd like people to know, why are you so passionate about coaching speakers? Tell me what that was for you, how'd you got started, like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah, yeah, thanks for asking. So part of it is this passion I have for being on stage and communicating. And the message is, when you're really excited, then you want to tell the world about what your
Mm,
message is. It's not just, oh, I'm afraid to go on stage, but I get people to the point where they're fired up and
yes.
very clear. You got to be clear first and then
Yes.
fired up about what you do. And then it's just natural for you to want to tell the world and show your passion, which
Mm,
is so important. But the reason I specifically got into this, I started out more as a life coach.
uh-huh.
And then, as you mentioned, I got certified to teach the art of presence, which is fabulous. So I bring my psychology background, my art of presence background, and my stage background into my public speaking coaching. And what I found was during COVID, especially, the coaching business, the consulting business, people that were in droves leaving their jobs they had, whether it was for a big company, a medium company, everybody wanted to work at home and
Mm,
start their own business.
right.
And so that industry increased like 800%, I think it
Sure.
is. It's
Sure.
crazy. So now it's coming from abundance, there is
Mm,
more than enough people that need your message, whatever your message is.
right.
At the same time, it is really challenging to stand out from the crowd.
Mhm.
So I go to
Mhm.
these networking groups and everybody starts to sound the same. After a while, you can't even listen anymore, or you're
Right.
scrolling on social media and
Right.
nothing catches your attention because you're bombarded with so much.
Yes.
So that's what I teach people is how to stand out and wow your audience.
Yes.
And then there's that art of presence piece because you also need to connect with them.
Mm, beautiful. And can you tell people a little bit more about what the art of presence is? What do you bring when you use that?
Yes. So I didn't develop this program, but there's 45 different practices. It started out as the art of feminine presence.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then we added men because it's almost exactly the same. There's a few tweaks here and there for
Yes.
men versus
Yes.
women, or however you identify in those areas. But it's really, really powerful because it's all experiential exercises
Mhm.
that
Okay.
help you to transform your energy.
Mm. Mm.
It's all about the energy. When I teach
Beautiful.
speakers, we start with the energy piece and the presence piece,
Yes.
because until you get that,
Yes.
the rest isn't going to capture attention.
Yes.
So it's about getting out of your head energy
Uh-huh.
and into your full body energy.
Got it.
And
Got it.
it's not about breath work. It's not about, focusing on something with your mind. It's about getting out of your mind altogether,
Right.
which
Right.
is so freeing and so powerful. You get
Yes.
into this essence of who you are, not your identity, not what you've done, but this real internal essence of yourself.
Mm.
And you can't really intellectualize about it. You have to
Yep.
do these exercises. And that's just one of them. There's so
Got it.
many. It helps
Got it.
people get out of pain. It helps people in their relationships. It helps people feel empowered. It helps people increase the desire for their life
Yes.
and their work. It's
Right.
amazing.
Well, I first a couple of things. One, I love that you agreed to help the men too. I mean, I am a big fan of women. Okay, obviously, but we had this program that we were doing at NYU, which is called Empowering Women in Science. Actually, that one, yes, and then also at Stanford Med School, and we called it that. And then the women said, the men need it too. I said, I know, but we were starting with women. It's okay. Anyway, so we expanded it to men. But then the other thing that I wanted to point to that you said that I heard in what you're saying is that why you want to support speakers is because you know that they have a message. You know they have a message to get out there, and it's so important. And you never know who hears what in what way. And so having them be particularly powerful in their speaking makes a huge difference to their success. and by translation, the rest of the people that they're impacting, right? So it's not an ego thing. It is about helping the world, getting out in the world, and being able to be more present there. Beautiful.
That is so true, because there might be people you will never know, whose stories you will never hear, that hear you speak somewhere and it changes their life
Yes.
forever. And hopefully there's plenty of people you do know, you will meet, that will work with you, that will also have their lives changed by your message.
Yes.
Because there's so, I mean, people are craving connection, and they're craving joy, and they're craving entertainment and excitement and a passion. And, you know, there's a lot of things going on in the world. We won't get
Right.
into that, but oh my gosh, people need whatever it is that you have. Someone out there really
Yep.
needs it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that if people don't have the kind of coaching you provide, they aren't, well, they're not as effective as they could be. And therefore it's almost like they rob people of the gift that you enable them to give, which is beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful, right?
Yes.
So because if they are not able to be bigger than themselves, or not able to go for whatever it is, they don't get to share what they have to share. And therefore there's something that gets lost. I love that. Beautiful.
Yes. Yes, that is beautiful. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it's so true. Yes, you
Yes,
have to be visible, you have to be seen, and you have to be heard
right,
for people to resonate
right.
with your message.
So another question for you. Can you tell people how you're different from other speaking coaches? So what is it that they would expect to get from you?
Yes, yes. One of the ways I'm different, we talked about how I start with the energy piece. I don't
Mhm,
start with, I also help people with compelling story, and how to do your marketing message, and how to use your body language so it's congruent,
mm,
and how to have confidence, and how to unhook from the past. There's so many things, but what really makes me unique is that I have all of this experience and expertise in the psychology part, and in the speaker techniques,
mm,
and in the energy piece.
mhm,
Because
mhm,
my belief is that it's this combination that takes you from being an okay speaker, or even a good
mhm,
speaker,
mhm.
to a fabulous speaker.
So great. So good. So, so good. So on the other side of it, can you tell people a couple of the mistakes, like what are sort of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're speaking?
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, we don't have time for
How
all
many
of
have been
them.
made today?
I list, like, you know, the top 10 list David Letterman used to have. I have my
Yes.
top 10 mistakes speakers make. And on, you know, a couple other calls I've talked about some of them. Here's one I don't think I've talked about for a while, and that is the need to be liked.
Mm,
And yes, we want to be known, liked, and
mhm.
trusted. Yes, we
Yes.
still
Yes.
want that.
Yes.
But some speakers are so concerned about being liked,
Yes.
because they're worried about being judged, and they don't want people to not like them, that they hold back or
Mm,
subdue parts of
mm,
themselves.
mhm,
So, what we really want as an audience, and for those of you listening out there, see if this is true for you. You want to like someone, and you want to feel connection with them, but you also want them to take a stand. You want to know what they think and what they feel, and what, you know, what their main message is, what they're passionate about, whether you agree with it or not,
mhm.
or whether initially it resonates or not. Maybe it will later, but you want to know those things, and you want to feel some passion from them. You want them
Yes.
to be a little edgy, because that makes them
Right.
interesting.
Right. Right. And it sounds like what you're saying is that when people are not really true to themselves, they subdue a part of themselves. And so their message doesn't get out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
one of the big things I do with speakers, is help them be them. So I don't try and say, you know, be like this successful speaker out here, or be like that one. I know a lot of coaches do that. So here's
Mhm,
another way I'm different, is I say, okay, I don't want everybody to be the same. That's not my goal.
mhm,
And if you try and emulate someone, you might emulate parts of their strategy. But ultimately, how can you be yourself, but
Yes.
be expanded and so much
Mm.
more. Because a
Mhm.
lot of
Mhm.
speakers, here's another mistake, is they go out and they want to be seen as professional and as the expert, and they come out and they're so boring because they're just, I'm going to tell you all this great information instead of, being vulnerable or being
Mhm.
funny or,
Mhm. Mhm.
or being silly or
Yes.
quirky. Quirky
Right.
goes really far if you can show your quirks.
Yes. Yes. It's so great. It's so funny when you were talking about the what your authenticity actually gives you. There was a years and years ago, so I'm a lawyer by training, professional training, and there was an article that I was featured in the New York Times. It was about lawyers as entertainers outside of the courtroom, and I was a courtroom lawyer, but okay. When I was asked to do that, I was concerned because I thought, "Uh-oh, if my clients see it, they won't think that I'm a serious lawyer." But
Yes.
I got over myself and I, did the article. And there's a big picture, it's full page article, la 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 la. And that was on a Friday. And on the Monday, I had a meeting with a large chemical company and all these executives from the chemical company. And I walk into the meeting and they're like, "Hi, we saw you in the Times on Friday." I'm like, ah. Meanwhile, I find out one's a drummer, one plays electric bass, and there's a thing that people get connected to you in a different way when you're
Yes.
just your authentic self. So that's my advertisement for your perspective in terms of be who you are and let people see who you are so that they get the real you and you can shine.
Yes.
So
And it's funny because that's even more important than it used to be. It used to be before there was all the social media and all of that, yeah, people did come off as more, I had to be the professional and the expert.
right.
I had to give you information. And it wasn't the norm to tell your personal story. That was
Yes.
sort of
Yes.
unprofessional.
Right.
It's 180 degrees change since then. Now we want those personal stories. We want to
Yes.
know the quirky things and how we can connect to people on other
Yes.
levels because we crave that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And that leads me to another question. How do you think, or what would you tell people, right? So you're here giving advice. What would you tell people about their being able to keep people's attention either on social media or on a stage? Like what are the tips that you would provide so that people in the audience can get something right from here?
Right. So there's several. The biggest one is learning how to master your energy. So,
Okay.
and it's not about high energy. So I'm high energy most of the time, not all the time. I try and, vary it, but I am high energy, but not everybody is going to be high energy. But what you want to always be is
Yes.
magnetic energy.
Mm,
So you
mm,
can be, not very big with your gestures. You can be not very loud,
yeah.
but yet have this way of drawing people in. And
Yes.
part of that is learning how to master your energy.
Aha.
So
Okay.
that's number one. And that's what I show people in my free classes. And then we go into a lot of depth when I do my boot camps for speakers. So that's one thing. Another thing is you want to grab attention in the first 15 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, so you don't start off with, "Hi, I'm Marla Press. I'm the founder of Speakers on Fire Academy, and I can't." No, you start immediately with something that's going to grab their attention. It could be a personal story.
Mhm.
It could be humor.
Mhm.
It could be, I have a lot that I do. So when you go to these networking groups, a lot of times you get 1 minute to speak. That's
Right.
it. 1 minute. And people go, "How can I possibly impress people in 1 minute?" I have at least a dozen different ways that I use. Sometimes I'll go, "Hey, is this thing on? Can you see me?" And I act like I'm, a real idiot. And then I say, like if I started my speech that way, would you even want to listen to me? And yet people laugh every time because
Uh,
they do sort of a whiplash. Like, "Oh, is she really doesn't know how to use the camera? Like, what's going on here?" And or I start another one with, "Wow, wow, wow. Those are the wells you need to get when you speak." And
yes.
that's just in the first 20 seconds.
Uh-huh.
So, it's a way of just capturing attention
Yeah.
immediately,
Yes.
and, sometimes that's all if you're on social media, that's all you get is a few
Right.
seconds.
Right.
If you're, if you're on a stage, you have a little bit more time, but you wanna own that stage the second
Yes.
you walk out there, and you wanna grab attention.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah,
So,
and
so many
props are a way
yeah.
I've got so many ways, yeah. Props are fun. I mean, there's so,
Yeah.
so many ways.
Yeah. Well, if you just have a wealth of information and tips and tricks and I don't want to minimize it by calling it tips and tricks because it's not that. Because it really, yes, they're tips, but it's not tricks like coming from something manipulative. It is really how are you going to get your message out there? And I just think it's so incredible what you have to offer. I'd love to be able to let people know. Do you have anything coming up that for people to find out more about? You mentioned your free classes, or do you have anything that people should know about so that they can actually learn more from you? Because that's what we want to do is learn more from you.
Yes, actually, tomorrow
Oh,
I know, right?
oh,
I'm
here
having
it is.
a free master class
Okay.
tomorrow online.
Okay.
And in it, like I said, I show you, instead of just talking about presence and
Yeah.
energy and how you get out of your head, I actually take you through that experience.
Okay. All
And
right.
then I
Great.
do some laser coaching and I give a lot more value. And
Amazing.
I'm not selling anything. I'm just there to give this value because that's what I want to do at the end of the year
Right.
here. And
So great.
right down here at the bottom
I
of the
was gonna say,
screen, you
you
can
gotta
see
tell
the
people.
link.
Okay, good. So that's the link. So is it a link that they can click, or do they have to capture it? How will that show up for them?
Yeah, they have to capture that, and
Okay,
then I will also put it in the comments below the video, so
excellent.
you will be able to click on it, and that
Okay,
won't get you directly into it. Then you just have to sign up for it, register, so I know who's
okay,
coming, and then you will get the Zoom link.
perfect, perfect. All right, good. Is there anything else you want to leave people with?
I just want to say that as it comes to the end of the year, I know if you want more for 2024, if you want more clients, you want more wealth, and if you want more joy, because
Mm,
what I want to do is get you fired up about what you do and have you fire up your audience and
mm,
just enjoy doing it.
mm.
And that people need to hear your message. So speak up, learn how to speak well, and I can't wait to see you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you have to offer people. Thank you for, putting it out there, giving a free masterclass. I mean, amazing. And I know that it comes from your heart and really enabling people to get their message out there so that they can contribute and make a difference in the world. So I honor you. I appreciate you. It was really great being with you. Thank
Oh,
you so
thank you
much.
so much, Gaby. This has been fantastic to speak with you. You asked great questions, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much. All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
soon.